Please listen to the teachings by adjusting your motivation and conduct by thinking to yourself, I must by any means achieve the precious state of peerless, complete enlightenment for the sake of all the mother sentient beings who are equal to the extent of space, and for that reason I'm going to listen to these teachings, to the Holy Dharma teachings. The Dharma that we are going to be listening to here is the way to guide the fortunate to the level of Buddha by way of the stage of the path to enlightenment. It gathers together all of the essential points of all the teachings of the victorious one, the Buddha. It is the way of the two great charities, Nagarjuna and the Sangha, and it is the Dharma system of the Supreme Being who is travelling to the level of omniscience. It also gathers together or contains all of the stages to be practiced by the beings of the three scopes without missing any of them.
The Lama Teacher and the Dharma King of the Sri Lama Tsongkhappas, they say understanding the understanding of Dharma, the essence of the understanding of Dharma is revealed. It's a profound teaching.
Reda tammi jujin samne kaso lende jer samba sia ten jushu saji ta lende jer samba tene ta cheda samba tela ora cheda samba susu cheda samba ni samba la ni lelam chu zowar den ba ta le don de ten la ba o
and precisely where we've arrived.
Did you mention the chosen literacy? Chosen literacy. So the third, fourth, fifth outline which mentioned, up to which mentioned the greater part of the three capable beings to achieve enlightenment. After that, which meant it said the graduate path to enlightenment, which has three advantages and four special qualities.
So then, precisely where we've reached in the text, we've already had an explanation of the how to reflect on karma in general, and now we've reached the second point, which is reflecting on the different karmas individually, and within that, then there are also two outlines to look at. One is this is in the English text. The outline is sort of laid out on page 215, and the explanation follows on 216. So it's talking about, first of all, it's teaching on about the sort of the principally teaching the 10 paths of karma, and then there is actually it's in the text, isn't it? The determination of the effects of actions. That's the second one. So we're obviously looking at the first one.
담보네 대달 대두 윤리 수송에 받아 렘페지하다 마지받아 문제지 제가 주면서 리바티 레돈 리뷰서 전도하셔도 도망이 빠지는 논도 자세나스 레다 제르삼베 갑서 대화도 동안이 이제 저 라네 개와도 매개와지 대니게 리뷰 대두 수송에 봐 제 소소네 좀 미쳐가지. 근데 내 펼쳐봐. 마제봐도 말해봐. 제바 주면서 봐. 모두 해봐지. 다 근데 옛날에 렌데 냠슬래야 될라니 간듯이 랭고 요르세나 근데 도만 온도 잡에 요르텔라 근데 레지 남쪽서 말이야.
Then we look. Rinpoche has read out from the text at the top of page 216, where it says the principal teaching of the path of the 10 actions, given that I have ascertained, etc. So there, what this means is that there has when we on the previous outline where it explains how to reflect upon karma in general. It explained in general how it is that the cause of suffering is negative karma, the cause of happiness is positive karma, and that these never get mixed up. These are never mixed. So that's something which is fixed or definite. That besides that karma increases, that you don't meet with the result of karma that you haven't created, and that karma never goes to waste. So having reflected upon that, then having gained some certainty of that, then the question might arise: well, then what is the practice to do on the basis of that? And the answer is that one would engage in the practice of these 10 paths of action, or the 10 paths of karma.
이말다 제르 레버죠바 다소는 사야다 니버죠바 니주 레데는 주비고 아니 너가 있습니다. 고섬도 개발해. 이제 고섬지 개미게 탐지 단다 대대하게 내남주에는 누구요를 세나 누구요 말해. 어느 데는 주시고 가르세나 개미게 남지 첸모 다 라와 카나마도 소위 말해. 카나마도 위시 신도 체와 그러니까 카나마도 위시 송도 이미 신도 체와 너무 소위 말해. 마치 카나마도와 카나토와서 손놈도 거예요. 카나마도와서는 이바도 거예요. 근데 근데 이제 신도 체와 나 저도인도 좀 내내도 소위도 남주에서 소위 말해.
In general, then I think we're going a little bit further down in the text. In that the second paragraph down, where it says, the one that comes after reply, the reply to that. So, in general, when we when we engage in good practices or accumulating merit and so forth, or whether we engage in negative actions, negative conduct, then all of any of these actions will be done by way of either our body, our speech, or our mind. In any of those three ways, and they're sort of like those are exactly the three ways in which you would engage in such actions. So now we might so in connection with this, then the teaching of the 10 paths of action or the 10 paths of karma is taught. But does this mean, we might ask, does that mean that any karma would be included, or any negative karma would be included in the 10 paths of negative karma? And the answer is no, not all are included, but these 10 were taught because they're the ones, and it says in the text, they're the ones that the most obvious, or the grossest ones amongst amongst the actions of these 10. So it mentions that in the English it comes out as among where it says the basis of great foundations for a misdeed. It says great foundations for a misdeed. So the Tibetan term kanamatua, like something which is unspeakable or unmentionable. What it means is something which is negative. So these are the in terms of the negative karma. These are the this list of 10 is the 10 which are the most obvious and the most and the grossest, and also like the greatest misdeeds or the greatest negativities.
난지 말해봐서네. 고아는 고야게 싸와. 예주 탐지 싸와. 두슈디세 차도 요로. 얘나요 내도 뭐 와라. 노비고 체슈 담마게 주보데 차도 요래. 얘도 이제 본자들라 나불이 남주지. 대다 보나 돈 신의 제가 달래도 뭐 와라. dendu gombo toya de ke cheju chi cha de ya yin de tobala tu de song go ya yin du don shen de che ne nam jo ka bu le nam jo ndo ba se ne ne da ka bu le nam jo na bu le nam jo ka bu le nam jo se ne so ba.
In general, the worst cause of all of our suffering, the root cause of all of suffering in psychic existence is the what we call the self-grasping ignorance. But nevertheless, for beginners, then the cause of suffering is outlined in this way as the 10 paths of negative karma. So for a beginner, what's important is achieving a fortunate birth within psychic existence, and in order to do that, you need to practice morality. And so the practice of morality for a beginner would mean avoiding the 10 negative karmas, the 10 paths of negative karma, and engaging the opposite of those, which are the 10 paths of positive karma.
Lam German, the John Gaming and Chenmo, Rabakanama, which is Chenjo, so you made Ned and William Joseph, the Lapon Toshes, you name the John Dover Sene, Garbel and Lam Joson, the Imerda, Tenji, and Lesonso, Zole, Tele Chenon doing and again, Mugachi, but they don't Joson, so she don't. Imerda, Sonjam de Yaka, Novalo Namji Legion. Hanam song sing, song you did not give us song. Yiji Rabdam de song you do, Yiji Magivas song. Hana song is the Nagi Magiva song yat. Yiji Rabdam, Yiji Magiva song. Luigi Magiva, the magician, son do that, Luigi Sojoba, Majimalembalo, him Jene, Teta Magajuba the Sombayina, magician. Lenam Sumbo de Rabjana Lunga Yusumji, Lenam Sumbo de Tanagus on the Pamatomachi, Cabo Gavis on the Gorchene, John Bayina, Tronson Sumbi Lam de Toban Jor, Imada, Tronson Yi Tronji, Nasumba Mavina Tronson Suya. They on it, that the Tronson and on the Choduba. So you don't soon be Reda Lam Sajulanga Soba, Tedayon, Tanda Lenam Sobo de Jone, Togo Indu, Tonson Belam, the Toba Jur, she is also.
Then we've read, Rimush has read through the text up to this verse which near the bottom of 216 where it says, and the exegesis of the discipline says, if you practice these three paths of action. So then there is some explanation of that verse, which is that generally speaking we have these three types of action, which are the actions of body, speech and mind. So now here it says, guarding your speech, being restrained mentally and not committing physical non-virtues. So guarding your speech means avoiding the four negative actions of speech. Then the being restrained mentally means to avoid the negative actions, the three negative actions of the mind. And not committing physical non-virtues means not to refrain from the three negative physical actions. So, and then it says that if you practice in that way, trying to avoid as much as possible the negative side and trying to practice the positive side, then you will achieve the path taught by the sage. The sage here meaning like somebody who speaks truthfully, a truth speaker. And when it says you will achieve the path taught by that sage, then that means that practicing the avoidance of the 10 paths of negative karma and practicing the 10 paths of positive karma acts as a basis upon which you would be able to gradually attain the 5 paths and the 10 grounds.
So taught by sage means supreme, who is supreme among the sage, the founder Shakyamuni Buddha.
이말다 텔레 채널도 있는 해서도 채널하고 좀도 가니 고선이 먹여 간간 두고 말했어. 인데 단다 가는 두야 말잖아. 단단데 무이제 먹여 주어서 말아. 근데 디 조바다 조다 그래 대제요 단다 리메가지. 이말다 데 무이제도 봉아 대인도 거나 조준이 봉아 동지 고용으로 왔다. 데려 맞대 말. 근데 매선 답에 되는 맞도 그래. 나다 대 지만하는 봉가와 손사 맞대 말. 동고 그 조례 라와지 가능만도 이제 치슈 된대지 봉화된 거지.
Then going back to this point which was made that not all actions are not all negative actions are included in these 10, but rather that these are the ones which sort of like are the grossest, the most obvious, and so forth. So then the question might arise: well, what is it that what kind of negative action is not included? And so this would the when you get the ngurshi, the actual negative karma, that would be included when we talk about these 10 paths of negative karma. The 10 actual paths of negative karma would be included, but then you have the ones which are incomplete in terms of the action and the completion and so forth. So those would not be included. And also, what's not included is what is literally referred to as like impure conduct. So no. So this is this is
the opposite of celibacy.
The opposite of celibacy. Okay, thank you.
The section course.
No. No. So
it's difficult for the to be complete for lay to be completely pure celibacy is very difficult. So therefore, that is not say to abandon. It's completely it's a difficult. So it's not including this. So just only the sections conduct.
다 나불에 남죠. 레벨지 봐. 시바지 동보. 네 나불에 남죠. 레벨지 봐. 시바지네. 근데 대단한 민주법 잠지 근데 개와 자기 어려서나 그 만주법 잠지 개와 자기 말이었어. 근데 다 간데 거기 어려서나 대다게 꼬노 삼네 좀담 그 거는 거는 제용으로 지되네 이티 돌아 주바도 봤담 근데 고섬지 레요 먹여다도 예만 리바 제비서 임다 대 고섬 먹여야 예만 리바 제냐면 담자 때문에 정말이나 근데 게 와주지 레서 세야 되죠.
So we would first need to understand the 10 paths of negative karma and their results, and then we would not, and accordingly, having reflected on that, would we should not engage in them. But is just not engaging in any of those 10 negative actions a way of creating positive karma? The answer is no. That's not sufficient. What you need is to refrain even from, or to sort of like you have to refrain even from, or to stop even having the motivation to engage in any of those negative karmas. And so this is further down the page, down the bottom of the page of page 216. Not to have even the motivation, and to have the determination in the form of like a tamja, like making some kind of promise, like a firm decision, a promise that you're not going to allow your activities of body, speech, and mind to be mixed up with those 10, to be concerned with those 10. And that would be creating the positive karma.
임버다 대답을 배워줘야 레제 람템만 되네 대바섬 탐제다 된인들로 이제 대전이 되고 된게 남제에 게 이제다 버차디오지 제외 돈인들이 그러다 로제닝에 돈으로야 내도 재미 돈으로야 가리나요 뒤에 매드면와 차대요를 그러면 임비 근데서 자베 고도만에 요네요네가 관인데 손이 좀 내게요 요네 요네다 나게가 줘들라 나빠져 버려 대용 잠주시 봐네.
Then if one practices in that way by avoiding those 10 negative actions and practicing the 10 positive karmas, then such a practice acts as a basis for achieving all of the qualities of the path, whether it's the path of the hearer, and together with the results, and also the path of the solitary realizer, also all the qualities of the practices of the bodhisattva. And for this reason, the Buddha constantly, repeatedly praised this practice of avoiding the 10 negative karmas and practicing the 10 positive karmas. And then this brings us up to the top of page 217, where Rinpoche is just about to look at this questions of the Naga Kings of the Oceans Sutra.
사도 매 지금 무슨 소리 싸게 되노 이 말다 나로도 주자 되라 뭔도 함이 공부도 근데 다봐 선에 일이 다봐도 담진 좀 봐서 주자니 그러고 얘도 뭔도 함이 공부도 봐 대요 잡아 레모겨 주고네 겨가지고 냠서네 봐 대자와지 될라더니 좀 거야지 이 말에 대전도 일이 다다마다 담진 좀 공부 루야 돼요 근데 잡아 추점도 되는 거야 이제 추점을 해야 되다 그래 현나오지나 자외소도 차도 여러분 인도 근데 잡이 되니 있어요 인도도 그래다 대바섬 인도도 로송제제 조주 답이고 뭐 일이 세야도 지고지 대다면에 인도도 로송제제 답아 조주 도바나요 자비 되지되나 주름고 요지 대신에 라나만 연도도 비송주 송지 공부도 약에 잡에 되는데요 주름 차대 요래 세상이 말에 잡에 되 교회 취시자도 잡에 되래서 다 잡에 되죠 공원시나 내다대 교화주의 랜남대에서 이제 다기 공원시야 교화주의 래대 대탐지 잡에 되래서 송지 좀 내내로지죠 아번째 같이
the way in which the Buddha praised the practice of avoiding the 10 or giving up the 10 paths of negative karma and practicing the 10 paths of positive karma is mentioned is taught in this sutra, the questions of the Naga King of the Oceans, and what it says there is that what it's teaching there is that what we need to achieve, what we need to attain, what we need to achieve is on the one hand ngondu, or the high status, which means birth as a human being or as a god, and definite goodness, which refers to the states of liberation and enlightenment. So in the case of achieving the former, high status, birth as a human being or as a god, the root, the basis of that is to abandon the 10 negative karmas and to practice the 10 positive karmas. Likewise, also to achieve the state of definite goodness, of liberation and enlightenment, the root of that, the basis for that is the practice of morality. So it's the root dharma, or the root practice, and in this sense it's referred to as the root basis. The term that's been used in the English is taproot. This is being used to translate the term tsawe den, like the sort of the basic root, or the fundamental root, or the fundamental basis for that. No.
Like the field for the trees or the plants.
So it's the basis for achieving those results. Just like a field is the basis for being able to gain
crops,
grow crops. No. And then, so it's the foundation, the sort of the root foundation. I was just about to actually.
Sorry.
It's the sort of the root foundation for achieving the paths and achieving the enlightenment of the hearer. Anyway, here it says where it says Shravakas, Pracheka Buddhas. So the hearers and solitary realizers. It's also the root basis for achieving enlightenment, morality, the practice of morality. And then if you ask what is that practice?
Enlightenment, the hearer, listener, and the solitary realizers.
So it's the root for achieving all the three levels of enlightenment, of the hearer, solitary realizer, and of the Buddha. So the root practice of that is morality. So then, so what is this practice of morality? This, the root of all that? It's the practice of abandoning the 10 negative karmas and practicing the 10 positive karmas. And it's in this way and for this reason that the Buddha constantly praised the practice, this practice of abandoning the 10 negative karmas and practicing the 10 positive karmas.
이말다 체미제삼 된레토 연도나 총세야다 이말네 조에 제가 조제요 되게 다 총자 첨부 된레로 총체스기요지 이말다 손바모모 요되니 된레가 총나 총달 그래도 머리남지 주위 요 된레라 정체 다때 용거도 저부 보러도 이말다 내네 자도 신개봐도 매도 신탐지도 레제 다 탐지 난내 내신내다 네 조조가 레제 다다 총다 근데 간지게 내가 가르쳐지나요 그거 살 되는 거야 지지 탐지다 성원지 초 탐지도 로도 탐지다 로도 제시 다 뭐가져야 뭐하다 대가는 샤비 샤르스지 주야 다 lodo yuwa namne sala ne de dagi ne sa yino peten de sha lo da bo te jen do gewa je le je lam de da ne da mo de kombo sa do me je wa ge yon ne res te no je da da lo ba no me lo ba se yin nyomo bo me che do lo jin ba lo de go ne da la da lo ba se ya da 대라 멜로비 영어본 사진 연두다 봄에 쳐도 넘어가 있어 멜로바지 근데 대답에 로바는 멜로비 개종을 들고 도봐 단이 들잖아 니들 로바는 멜로비 개종을 들고 도봐 돼요 줄이는데 내지니 요리 로선지 소주도 다 대전아 제외나 대전 로바 조조스미 조바를 라비진 만나지 조바 탐제다 안에서 이제 자좀봐 손제지 주 탐제지 네네 개와지 남대 차대 이거를 소이 시송소
this strong well anyway we're looking here now at this sort of where it says and also for example O Lord of Naga. So first of all, this example is given, and so literally it talks about villages, cities, municipalities, and so on. So Rinpoche explained clearly what each of those refers to. So where it says cities, actually I didn't catch that, but anyway. So all of those, the villages, cities, municipalities, countries, kings' palaces, and so on, and also all of the grass bushes and so on, all of the field work, all of the planting of crops, all of the working on the land, all of the reaping the harvest, and so on. All of this depends upon the ground. So that's the example. So that example is used to illustrate the point that also the practice of morality, abandoning the 10 negative karmas, is like the place on which all of the achievements of the hearers and the learners and the non-learners, or the not learners and the non-learners, all of their qualities are achieved depending upon that morality. Where learner means somebody who is still in the process of training to abandon all of the different delusions, different faults, and somebody who's a non-learner or a non-trainer is somebody who has already achieved the point where they've abandoned those delusions. So all of those achievements, whether we look at the Hinayana path or the Mahayana path, including all of the Bodhisattvas' practices and all of the qualities of the enlightened being, all of those somehow rest on, or they abide on, reside upon.
And all the Buddhist qualities.
All of the Buddhist qualities. They reside upon, or they rest upon, they're based upon this practice of the 10 virtues, practicing the 10 virtues.
쳔뇽뇽 정세이마. 조에네 조리 제가 조제세다야. 근데 요되게 정체르세요.
So Tong is there where there's 4 families, 4 families homes, Tong, then this village. So cities which has 18 different handcrafts, factories, handcrafts. The Tongdal is where there's a lot of business, so there's so many business.
It was 18, was it 18 factories?
Yeah, 18 handcrafts or factories, whatever. Companies.
이 말이다. 대한어제는 사주변도스 디에서 사주변도네 먹이주봉이 두름 나가고 있고 이제 사주변도는요 다단다 대선로 먹이주봉이 두름데 mondodo nilingage yoso chade yores son yo imare ti tandade omanjubanon so duindu manjuba lejo so je namdo sunje da sunje da son yo da sunje son je ba se majida sonje sama ron da 통하게 손에 집어다 잡아. 얘는 다 순지에서 얘도 인연들고 와 말이야. 일단 년 뒤에서 좀 전에 이제 손이 두 번째 비차네 년 뒤져로 아니 순지에서도 년 뒤고 주지. 론정 초라 다니게 남도 세연도 다 론자. 이 자세 남제 자세는 다 순지에서 남로지. 근데 된 남제 근데 도자 니발레바다 몬토 대니게 저 추진내 예메스 근데 저 저다 추진 차대요 만도 추진내 예메스다 텔리jem 제바 멤버 근데 저 저이서 대매나 먼저가 보스 이제 추진내 예메스 지드네 소소소
Likewise, in the Sutra of the Ten Grounds, the practice of morality is praised as being the principal cause of achieving birth of high status, which means, as we said before, birth as a human being or as a god, and definite goodness, which means liberation and enlightenment. So it mentions that whether we're talking about the ordinary beings, Sokye, the ordinary beings, or the Sungye, those who are born from the speech, the holy speech of the Buddha. In fact, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are also born from the speech of the Buddha, but in this context, born from the speech of the Buddha, those who are born from the speech of the Buddha refers to the hearers. So these are referred to...
born from the speech.
Also the solitary realizers are born from the speech of the holy speech of the Buddha, but this term is specifically used to refer to the hearers, who are referred to in the Tibetan as Nyente, and this is a term which gets at the idea that they achieved their path, their liberation and so on, through listening to the teachings of the Buddha. You know. And then where it says the self-conqueror, that refers to the Pratika Buddhas. And then the children, or the children of the victorious one, that refers to, that's another name for bodhisattva. So in each of these cases, what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to attain is whether it's definite goodness or high status. Then the main cause of that is the practice of morality. And when the Madhyamakavatara sort of summarizes all that into one verse, it ends by saying that there is no other cause for those than morality. And it doesn't mean that there aren't other causes that you need to practice in order to achieve those results besides morality. It's simply making the point that morality is the main cause of achieving those results.
mondono ile tamjeje jede ne da bu chade yindu tedar jena da chudum nare la yo dom da domse yone yone den song ku yo ji den ma so ma yena mondono ile to ya me ba ji da yo kaje ne chudum nare yo domsen ne sunju mejo ko ne tjen ba wo da tendes shema na shin de me de so imare ni da tjen ba jer tanda modo ngele kan de yin na yo de za ba su jin da ra de ji de no ne jo da tjen ba se de ro yin ni ge to du ya ge chi de be ge de yin du da zo jin de so ko ya ji cha de yo de 인도에서 대체발라 수준 단다 무게 주봉에 수준 줘야 너네 나래라요 domsen tenchi masawachi nga tewa chimo is meva yina then reda shin meva res so imare shin meva ta jomne ne wrong yo me wachi eko tere che na na wrong jin je yo me ba rani je yo me ba reda la so me yo me ba ta tende chai yo gre then da shin meva res so
Then, so since the practice of morality is, in a sense, like the basis on which all of those practices rest, abide, depend, then at least one needs to practice the mind of restraint with respect to at least one negative action again and again, practicing that again and again. So now then there are some people that don't even do that, don't even have one negative action that they're practicing restraint with concerning, and yet they'll say, I'm a Mahayanist. And this is described in the text as completely despicable, because the very root of achieving high status and definite goodness is the practice of morality, and in the case of the Bodhisattva, in the case of the Mahayana, then there the goal is achieving the welfare of both oneself and others, enlightenment for the sake of oneself and others, and in that case even more so it's important and essential to practice morality. So to call oneself a Mahayanist and yet not to be even practicing this, just one single sort of practice of having one single practice of morality, then even the Buddha himself poured scorn on such a person, referred to this as completely despicable and described it as scorned it, and so it would be a case of oneself being despicable, and one would also be scorned by human beings and gods, and even as we said, even the Buddha scorned such a person. No. Then we have this the Sutra of Ksitigarbha, which is at the bottom of page 217. Rinpoche read that out, and we've gone through some of that already. It mentions such people are great hypocrites. So now, amongst the five wrong livelihoods, we have the one which we have this one, sujie. We can call it a hypocrisy. It refers to a person who is who, in order to gain a livelihood, is pretending to practice morality, whereas in fact they're not practicing morality. So it's one of those types of five types of wrong livelihood. No. It also mentions It says literally in the anyway. What it says in the English, it says hypocrites and liars, right? So what it actually says in the Tibetan, it uses the term a great lie. It uses the term a great lie, and this is what we call the Michulami Zun. So it's one. I don't know how we usually say that. Michu, the Dharma of the humans. Lami Zun.
The big lie.
Anyway, okay, we can call it a great. So anyway, no.
예, 감금 샘 톱디요스. 아, 시네마토도 시네 톱디요스 야서로 셰비나. 미질람이 되게 자기가. 근데 델리죠. 단다. 무슨 개vel에 제요 단주면 제가 어떻게 보시면 있으나 언니가 잡치기로. 그래서.
So anyway, that term simply means a great lie, and it would be, for example, it would include such things as not having actually achieved calm abiding, for example, and yet trying to pretend or trying to make out or telling people, I have achieved calm abiding. So here also the person has no practice of virtue, isn't practicing morality, and yet is saying, I'm a bodhisattva.
So not having achieved this, the realm, those for former realm, those haven't achieved, but then pretending to have achieved. So those the human dharma, the having high attainment, the ten lie, specialism. So just one before. so I'm saying that here, saying so not protecting even one virtue. So you say mahana. So it's become a very heavy nidkama, a great lie, big lie. So just one before that person is extremely in the wrong conduct. So generally, so the acting as showing other people is that you are practicing morality in order to get means of living. That's usually what the meaning is. But here, while you're not protecting even one virtue, one morality, but you claim that you are Mahanist, so this is much bigger. It's extremely heavy. Wrong conduct.
Sucha is wrong conduct.
손제 좀 내는 탐제제 쟁을 지대는 로벌 제발만 왔대서. 이마다 대화지 뭐이 있어. 근데 남자 말아보이나 손제 좀 내는 이제 쟁을 캐는 뭐 대단가 봐. 지대는 로벌 제발해서. 이제 토마스 햄제요도 근데 저와서도 집에 쟁을 근데 샘제 돈도 손제 도가 저기 있어. 담지 들리지 않는데 되게 너도 안 가는 거지. 단지된 로바 제바서. 근데 샘제도 나가는 거는 저저저 제벌지스. 근데 샘제 남녀 노는 년에 샘제 돈 제기 저저쯤에 로바는 라고 있어. 이제 근데 샘 너무 저저쯤에 너무 소용인데 근데서 캐는 거로. 다 샘제 돈은 년에 샘제 돈 자기 있어네. 근데 이 라바를 말아봤지. 다는 게 내 직상에 맞으면 재미있나? 난 이제 되는 게 말이었어.
Saying I'm a bodhisattva when you're not practicing any virtue, it says here, they deceive the world in the presence of all the Bhagavan Buddhas, and they preach nihilism. So it's about we're talking about this point. They deceive the world in the presence of all the Bhagavan and Buddhas. So in the beginning, we make this commitment, this damja, this commitment in front of all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that we're going to practice the Bodhisattva conduct in the context of taking the Bodhisattva vows, that we're going to practice according to the Bodhisattva vows, keep the Bodhisattva vows. So in front of all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, we make that promise, we make that commitment, and yet here we're talking about somebody who's a Bodhisattva and says they're a Bodhisattva, and yet they're not even practicing any virtue. It's like they've deceived all of the Bhagavan Buddhas, because what they're doing is like the completely contradictory or completely opposite from the promise that they made. And also when one is taking the Bodhisattva vows, one makes the promise to practice the Bodhisattva, engage in the practice of Bodhisattvas for the sake of all the sentient beings. One makes that commitment to benefit all the sentient beings in that way, and yet you're not practicing any kind of virtue, so then it's also like you've deceived all of the sentient beings. And then it says they preach nihilism. So what this means is you're saying you're a Bodhisattva, you're saying you're a Mahayanist, the person saying they're a Mahayanist, and yet they're not engaging in any virtue, any practice of virtue in order to achieve enlightenment. So it's as if they're nihilists, because it's as if they're saying one doesn't need to, in order to achieve enlightenment, you don't need to create the cause for that. There isn't a cause of enlightenment. So it's as if what they're saying is nihilist, because they're saying, it's as if they're saying that you don't need any cause to achieve enlightenment. Then it says, well, anyway, it says when they died, they seemed confused. So it actually says they die in confusion, or they die in a state of stupidity or confusion. And then it says, and they fall back. So such a person who is a teller of such a great lie, then when they die in a state of confusion, and they fall back means that they would fall to the lower realms. They would take birth in the lower realms.
number jebaje shirab yawajina and the chegumara into that chura the namji shiram meba yada more in the chivitu shenayong is on rogres so
where it says dying in a state of stupidity or in a state of confusion, this means like in a state of ignorance or confusion about karma and its results. So clearly, if you had the wisdom which is able to thoroughly distinguish or analyze the Dharma, to understand the Dharma, you wouldn't make that kind of mistake. So it's from this point of view that we can say that one would die in a state of confusion or stupidity about the karma and its results.
Just this part. So sulcha is a pretended conduct.
No. Instead of saying hypocrisy, we should say pretended.
The hypocrisy is correct.
It's okay.
It's okay. Your meaning is okay. Pretended conduct.
The meaning is the pretended conduct.
Imarita, Leonjubos Somba Yena, and the Payoshin Chenmo Yoris, Jiguton in Ruby, Tanchati Yoris, or Reda, 데도 쯤에도 다 쯤에 먼저 공부로 야기 교육 또 차대요. 다 센델라이나요. 대진 중요하게 자와 도둑이요. 인도 대나 원종제나 또 보이지 난다 소리요와 tumba provincias. Zango reta kashi yorsaya tende chela jaji ne ramoji triyoji longjenji ye tswaji mare. Inde ta konza tellemne ne ngando gejonje ne jeje la kuba je go dos. Da gejon zeyon de gona inde de shingdong je yo mare. The Shinlong de la Kodo Tombotel Lebdu on the Garden was Kijajidu and the Chadigasana, Shinlaj and the Shengen River say, and there's Obaton, and this someone in Shendi Chivares, saying that Chati Kembacharva. And there's a one you do on Minia size on Chechi, and this Siva Jela Jaya Yos. Koñimbachi. And the tree they lived on Shinde to Yados, Shinde Kurogato, Saya Yos and those. Launching on the one and the Timnala, Korochus in the date of those. Then launching the Yongacha. Telegen the pass on Dona, then launching a tree show. Tree within another. Ramonte, ne ramon con charge, e quando tendrete ne gionze. And da quando gion, then Nazo Gion, Sigoche, the day of those. Now I told the Temje go with those and make you a Tem. So, attended to the Lombardella teaches what you have, attended to you so
So it is something very important, and practicing morality is very important. It's the main cause of achieving a good birth after this life. It's also the route for finding happiness, joy and happiness in this life. And we can tell this from the story of the four harmonious punji, like the companions. I think they usually sort of say four harmonious companions, but it's like punji is like cousins or kin, the four harmonious kin. So these are this is the story about the bird. There was a bird, and there was a rabbit, a monkey, and an elephant. So they were living together, and they discussed amongst themselves. They said, we should practice virtue, and what we need to do first of all is to live in harmony. So in order to decide how to live in harmony, they decided they needed to have some sort of idea of who was senior amongst them and who was junior. So there was a tree there, and they decided to work out who was the senior, the oldest one, by in relation to this tree. So the bird explained how it had brought the seed from some other place and had sort of like dropped it there, the seed in its droppings, and that the tree had grown from that seed. Then the rabbit could remember when it came to that place, when it arrived, that the seed had already grown into a small plant. So it was the next one. Then the monkey could remember that when it first came, it was able to eat the fruit from that tree, and so it was the sort of the next senior. Anyway, with the bird being the most senior. Then the most junior was the elephant, because when it came to that place, then came there, it could the tree was big enough so that it could rest under its shade. So in this way, they worked out the seniority between themselves, and they
respect the younger, respect the elders.
So in this way, on that basis, they had this way of respecting the older one, the younger ones, offering respect to the older ones, and so on. And then later on, they said that now on that basis they needed to further their practice of virtue, they needed some kind of discipline or some kind of rules. And what they decided to adopt was the practice of the 10 virtues. And all in all, through their practice, then that land became quite harmonious and peaceful.
The whole, it benefited so much of the whole country.
No.
That they nobody jabo take that you know the Jimbo to what you want the Jabo Kono sonomies or Kono Jaboji, this sonomato that in Chumbares saying do and the nation like the Monji on here, Tronsoji on in the that this soon to me Tronson that the conditions. Tronson the condition in the Jabos on your mares. In the Tende, you don't know, so charge Chenmo, the Nijiva Tela Tende, the Jijumares, and send them the
Then the king of that land assumed that the great happiness and peace and happiness, the happiness in the land, must be a result of his own merit, a result of his own merit. But then what happened is that a rishi, or like what they call anyway, a rishi was asked, a wise man was asked about this, and he replied that it actually wasn't a result of the merit of the king, but rather it was a result of the practice of these creatures living in harmony together. Then this in fact is a story about our own Buddha in a past life, because in fact in this story the Buddha explained that the bird was himself in a previous existence. The rabbit was a previous incarnation of Shariputra. The rabbit was a previous incarnation of Mongalayana, and then the elephant was a previous existence of Ananda. And so the Buddha explained that this was how he, in a previous life, had practiced the 10 virtuous karmas.
Monkey.
Sorry? The monkey was Mongalayana, right? The bird was the Buddha, the rabbit was Shariputra, then no.
Imrita, Tanajane, and Givajo Sunya Tela, Payon Jimu. Then the Payon you did up, Payon Jenjane, Givajo Sea, Tiloso, a Taponja, Magiojo, Gogorva, and then Magiojo, then the Shigu. In the Shigu, and the led on the Tela about the songs. Now will end it down, God will end it. Then I will end it on you do leg and Magivachi. That in river. And the God will end it, Gabo Gavachi. In Marta, Nabu led a God will lay a song goyate and led the JB, the in river, Lumar. Nabu, then there is a Nabu lesser. And the Gava led the Jene Nami Deva Carbota Juyo into Carbules into Carbul and Dej. That your legend of Yen and Basita subject
Therefore, the practice of the 10 virtues, the practice of the 10 paths of positive karma is of such great importance and has such great benefit, and for this reason we have there is the custom of avoiding the 10 negative actions and practicing the 10 positive actions. And in order to do that, we need to understand how all that works. So therefore, in the text we now have an explanation of the 10 negative karmas and their results, and an explanation of the 10 positive karmas and their results. The reason that these the 10 positive actions are called positive is because they bring in fact, it was the Rinpoche explained it the other way around. The reason that the negative ones are so called is because they bring a result of suffering as a ripening result, and that's something that is quite negative, quite bad or negative. And then why the 10 positive actions are called positive is because they bring happiness as a result, and this is something that is seen as positive. So then, in terms of the outlines, there are 3 points. If you look at the top of page 218, you've got these 3 outlines coming under the main outline, which is the determination of the effects of actions.
Lelam Jubo Shiaji. And then Lelam Jubian non ne carriage or carry or is in the Jayong Cheber. The dog and river them was some.
Then, with that first one, which is called non-virtuous actions and their effects, that also is dealt with in 3 sections. The first one is the actual path of the non-virtuous actions. Then the second one talks about which amongst the 10 are the heavier ones, which ones are the lighter ones. So that's called the distinctions of weight in this English. Then thirdly, there's an explanation of the effects of those actions.
And they know get tombo that's so job. Tomone, so job a conscience, de la Duvara, Jedan Duchita, some of the Yomon thought and our son Joe, or Parbas of Summer do the Jovan Nene, just some of the Jovan Tatu, do the Shena, Juban Deshin, Gomba Magalo, so in Bertate, that do be Duvales also. The tenth of that called David Chedo, just about Jovan tattoos and Jeje Dune, so we saw him in the yes. So John Ravina, or Soya, Reta, some Jedela, yes, he was it. And then Samba said that, Nyomba, to some Goro, you couldn't know you do, and the Samba said. And the tell about Jova, Bessochea. And the tattoo so Jova, Presson Garo, the tattoo Yoro, that Tendicene, Maga Joga, a share, Samba, Jova, tattoos, a Shegone, Shegi, so on.
So we have an explanation of the 10 paths of negative, or the 10 negative karmic paths, or the 10 paths of negative karma, and those 10 are the 3 of body, the 4 of speech, and the 3 of mind. So the first of those is killing. That's the one which is dealt with first. And at this point, Rinpoche read out a little from under that section of the first section of killing. That first paragraph, in fact, down to where it says no contradiction between it and the intention of the Sangha's teachings. So basically what he's saying here, having discussed the way it's presented in the Compendium of Determinations and the way it's explained in the Vinaya, No, actually, that's not the Vinaya. The Compendium of Determinations, this text. He says, Jeremshe explains that he's going to explain this negative karma in terms of the basis. In the case of killing, that would be the sentient being which is killed. The attitude, the samba, or the attitude, which, for example, if the killing is done motivated by any of the three klesha, the three delusions, the three delusions: attachment, anger, and ignorance. That would be the attitude, the samba. Then there's the joa, or the action. This would refer to actually putting effort into making efforts, or effort into doing the action of killing that creature, that being. And then the tatuk, the completion, in the case of killing, that would be when the creature dies. That would be the death of that being. So all of the 10 negative parts of negative karma are going to be explained in terms of these four: the sheet, the basis, the samba, the attitude, the joy, the action, and then the tattva, the completion.
Imrda tela soju je jene sodo dembe semjen de teyon soba boro ni so na jobi du ba jin da to me ba ko na namju chobe sale soja paru bu shi so imrda soju je je de la sodo dembe semjen je gore so re sodo dembe semjen reda dwa ne je na me mercha ba so re 다 merchaba saying 파맹가도 쿠란리 남시 쇼용도네 merchaba 차기요래 다 단다 소도되면 심예에 소용도 다 네 공하다 소도되면 차디요래 도마 밤에 쿠란 리베 갑네 네 단다 남시 쇼용 남시 쇼용도 남시 네버체비 남지게 때는 대라 소서 교래 대리인도 소도 된 맞아도 요래.
Now, if you look further down on page 218, where it says, amongst these, the base of killing is a being who is alive, etc. So, the basis in the case of killing has to be a living sentient being. When this is explained, the way it's explained in the Vinaya, or the discipline, then the basis would be a human being, or a being which is becoming a human being, mirchakpa, mi or mirchakpa. So what that means is that initially you have the mixing of the liquid, anyway, the sperm and egg of the parents, the liquid and the blood of the mother and father. Literally, it says the sperm and egg of the parents, and then the consciousness enters into that. The consciousness of the being enters into that, and from that point on, it's referred to as a sochat, as something which possesses life. No.
대형 그러다 론이 세바이나 아니 소주진내나 무용이요 말에 이 말에 되는데 단다 바로 보고서야 된대요 바로 보고서 거야 돼 대이 말에
just before that so there's a there's semen and the sperm and egg, the blood meet together, and then consciousness took place on that. So that which is the basis of consciousness depend on, so that the soul is life. That's why I call soul. The life. So Rinpoche used other example, like egg. in a chicken egg same. The salt, it has salt.
In the
live salt.
No. In the text it mentions moreover in the level of yogic deeds it adds the qualification of other. So what this means is that if you kill yourself, if a person kills themselves, then it's not you haven't created the actual negative karma of killing. So it's for this reason that it says another being. If it's yourself, it wouldn't fulfill that condition. So it should be somebody other than yourself.
Je samba jovan thatu sene sonde yake ne samba tela no sege pege dushi ja to chene ne dushi se yaji imare ne nyomba ta kono se som imare da do mon dushi soya ke shedela shede simje da imbaji dan dushi tela dushi ne shede je samje dabla de samje ne dushi ne samje ne dushi bayina dushi ma to barwa samje ro samje la samje member dushi bayina dushi to baji yo samje ma yin ba je la samje ne dushi samje member dushi samje member la samje ma yin ba dushi na dushi ma to baji da de samje ne dushi ba nan dushi chuba charu yorwa ida tane yendu dushi tombo don semjen de dushi bate ma chuba che sumba semjen mayimba dushi bate ma chuba che da semjen mayimba dushi ba nimba te da jeba semjen mayimba semjen dushi bate chuba res ida dushi chuma chuge go ne le lam zo me zo shege yore indu dushi te so shego.
Then, so in explaining this negative karma of killing, we look at it in terms of the basis, the attitude, the action, and the completion. So when it comes to the attitude, this is also explained in under 3 points. In 3 points, because within the attitude you need to have the recognition, dushi, the recognition, the kunlong, the attitude, and the nyumon, or the one of the 3 what's called klesha, the 3 delusions, attachment, and so on. So when it comes to the recognition, this is also sort of explained using these 4 points, which you can see further down on page 218. You see that list of 4 points. So it's by way of these 4 points that you can understand whether that karmic path has been complete or not. So the first one is where the basis is a sentient being, and you recognize it as a sentient being, in which case you're not mistaken. The second one is where it's a sentient being and your recognition or perception of it is as not being a sentient being. That's mistaken. And where it's not a sentient being, the third one is where it's not a sentient being, but you perceive it as a sentient being. That would also, it's not a sentient being, and you recognize it as not being a sentient being. So that would be non-mistaken again. And then the fourth one is where it's not a sentient being, but you recognize it or perceive it as being a sentient being, and that would be mistaken. So you have the first and the third being non-mistaken, and the second and the fourth being mistaken. It's by analyzing in terms of those 4 that you can understand whether the karmic path has been complete or not.
Imbarita, Lushin Trumbandrutia, and Della Kono Chetraje Penna, and Liji Kona Sayam, Joasam Zambe, Chubji the non Sena, Uji Deme Beteta, Lushima Drova Gush. Joey to the Concho, so Yamakono Jelishuayona, Lushima Drova Maguso, Sondene, Lamagona Jerva Shivacha. That Chetage. Dushi, Tai, Semjes, Lavarwa. Da Semje Chetaba, Lejin Taba, Lejin Senji Jiwaji, Tesego Yamne, Norji, and Chubji Senji Seja Yina, Lenamuji Umaris. In the Karsana, Chubji Sego, Lejin Sego, Tambarimato, Chubji So Yama Yomara. The Meza, Lenamuji, never you do tell them to him what goes. Da Kono Chela Shubas. Tanda Liji Kona says Yamatabu Kono Chetala Shubas. Da Suyin or say Yamayona and the Kono Chishu. Kono Chishu Yina Reda Rendushima Drogo Mariko, Candice Seja Nanyo, and Lena, which is all you get.
Then, so on this this topic of the recognition or the perception being mistaken or not, so then Rimshi has read from the text carrying on up to the end of that first paragraph you see on the top of page 219. Know this to be the case for any of the remaining 9 virtuous actions. It finishes with that. So we were, when we were talking about the recognition, we were talking about in general terms by using this term sentient being, recognizing a sentient being and so forth. So now, if we look at specific cases, or recognition where it's specific. So, for example, you might have the motivation specifically to kill Devadatta, but then mistakenly you kill Yajnadatta. So in this case, because you intended to kill Devadatta, but instead, because of mistaking your perception, you killed Yajnadatta, then you wouldn't get the actual negative. You wouldn't get the actual negative karma of killing. It seems to say in English there's no actual sin, as if there's no negative karma at all. But that would be a misunderstanding. That you don't get the actual negative karma of killing, the full negative karma of killing. So, on the other hand, if your motivation was to just kill anybody, then whoever you kill, would suffice. You wouldn't have made any mistake in your perception. Whoever you kill means that your perception would be unmistaken, because your intention was to just kill anybody, and then you do just sort of kill anybody, whoever you come across. So in that case, you would get the complete or the actual negative karma of killing.
Samagoda Cherba Shivacho, Nimere, Kono Chela Shuban, Nandushi Mandrova, and Bakuachi, Kono Chetala Shubayina, Nindushi Mandrova, then the Lama, and Bagachu Nogan, Lama Shivachis.
Then, where it says, know this to be the case for any of the remaining 9 non-virtuous actions, what that means is that in the case of having a general motivation, then you don't need to have an unmistaken perception of the person, of the being. And in the case of having a specific motivation to commit that negative karma against whatever the object, then since you had that specific motivation, then you do need to have the perception being unmistaken.